We have an update to yesterday's crash story. Tesla has new board members, some Model 3 rumors, and gas stations are deploying fast charging stations. Here's Tesla Tidbits episode number 269 for July 18th, 2017. We start with an update to yesterday's story of the crash in Minnesota that initially appeared to be blaming autopilot. Via Elon's Twitter account, we get clarification from the driver saying he never intended to blame autopilot for the crash. Quote, "To the best of my recollection, I had engaged the autopilot system, but then I had disengaged it by stepping on the accelerator. I then remember looking up and seeing the sharp left turn which I was accelerating into. I believe we started to make the turn, but then felt the car give way and lose its footing like we hit loose gravel. That was the feeling that I was trying to describe to you, that I had lost control of the vehicle. The next thing I know, tall grass is whipping past the windshield, and we were traveling at an odd angle in the ditch, and then flipped over the right side and ended up on the roof." End quote. The quote on the tweet breaks and then is finished saying, quote, "I am truly thankful for the safety features that Tesla had put into this car that saved all 5 of them from serious injury." End quote. So clearly the error was believing accelerating disabled autopilot, which it does not. Only moving the steering wheel, pressing the brake, or canceling via the autopilot stalk will disengage autopilot. And it should be noted that simply taking control of the wheel will not disengage cruise control, which also would keep the car moving. So it does look like I was wrong on the cause, but not far off base. In the end, the driver was unaware of how his car was expected to behave. Luckily, nobody was injured seriously in the accident. Tesla announced via blog post today that it had named 2 additional people to its board of directors. Tesla was recently criticized for too many members of the group having direct ties to Elon, and the company said it was looking to add positions to the board. The 2 folks filling the seats will be Linda Johnson Rice and James Murdoch. Linda Johnson Rice is currently the chairman and CEO of Johnson Publishing Company and Fashion Fair Cosmetics, CEO of Ebony Media Operations, and chairman emeritus of Ebony Media Holdings, the parent company to the Ebony and Jet brands. She has vast experience serving on boards across many industries and sits on 2 other boards as well, those of Grubhub and Omnicom Group. James Murdoch is the current CEO of 21st Century Fox and has held several corporate leadership positions in the past. I wish them both good luck and wisdom as they take the role. Teslarati reports that a financial research firm believes it's found a possible hitch in the Model 3 launch. J.L. Warren Capital, which specializes in research of Chinese markets, put out a research note it believes relates to the Model 3 supply chain. Quote, "There has been a delay in the center console shipment. Japan Display makes the LCD screens for the Model 3. TPK and Lens Technology laminate the panels. Although we believe that the screen yield issue will eventually get worked out, it currently has delayed the touchscreen shipments to the factory in California." End quote. Tesla flatly denied the rumor, saying, quote, "There is no issue with the supply of any aspect of our screens for Model 3, end quote. The spokesperson further added that Japan Display is, quote, "not even a supplier of ours," end quote. It does seem fairly illogical for it to be possible to have a shortage for a car that isn't expected to deliver more than 1,600 units in the first few months of its life, but I guess you never really know. Due to this, I'd suspect we'll know very quickly if this story has any legs. Lastly, we ended Electrek with another story of gas stations supposedly installing EV charging stations. Shell had already announced this earlier this year, though with no detail, and that they would begin installations of EV charging stations at locations in the UK and the Netherlands. Now, it seems we have some details. Shell will partner with Allego to do the work. Allego said in the statement, quote, "The first chargers are due to open in Greater London, Derby, and the western part of the Netherlands, Randstad, by the end of 2017, end quote. It appears these will be DC fast charging stations capable of delivering 50 kilowatts of power. Anja van Neersen, CEO of Allego, said in a statement, quote, "We are proud being a service partner for Shell and that we can contribute to the transition toward cleaner mobility. We are looking forward to support Shell in delivering excellent value to its customers. We see that people are willing to shift toward electric mobility, but a lack of appropriate level of charging infrastructure and interoperable charging services is one of their main concerns. Allego and Shell joined forces by adding fast chargers at the right service stations. Shell now actively contributes in creating a reliable and open charging network, a network that is accessible for all EV drivers despite the brand of the car," end quote. We've not been told how many stations will get the chargers, but if the earlier story about the UK potentially requiring gas stations to have charging stations as well, this deal would put Shell in the driver's seat for quick compliance. You can find the links to today's full stories in the show description. This show operates on a value-for-value model. If you get some value out of what I do each day, please consider supporting me at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. Thanks as always to my super patrons, John Waltower, Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Mark and Sarah Thomas, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dory Guberman, and Bruno Quindici. If you have no extra cash available, it's cool. Please show your love with positive feedback and subscriptions on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and other services across the internet, or keep the show referral code in mind if you're in the market for a Tesla. That code is ts.la/JON4602, and it gets you $1,000 off the car and free supercharging for the life of the vehicle. That's it for tonight. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.